Hello.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. Let me turn up my volume. How are
Sure.
you today?
Doing pretty okay. A friend of mine has been saying doing all right on a curve, which I think is really apropos now, right now, because there's so much going on for everyone. So,
100%.
right?
Yeah.
Doing okay on a curve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That as best as you can. I feel like during quarantine, there's been so many highs and lows, and
Mm.
you just got to kind of have to figure out how to navigate it.
That's it exactly.
Yeah, but a highlight of quarantine will be talking to you today. I'm super excited about that to chat with you and get to know you a little bit better. Um, I want to dive into kind of what you were like growing up. Was
Oh,
acting
wow.
something that you were always interested in, or did you have to discover your passion for acting?
I, you know, I have to say, acting, storytelling has always been a thing for me.
Hmm.
It's always been something I wanted to do. The question was whether or not I was going to be able to do it. But even as a kid in Nigeria, I tell this story a lot. I had my elders telling stories,
Hmm.
and I just remember being so blown away by what they were able to do, the places they were able to take you.
Yeah.
And I remember as a child wanting that and not knowing what it was. And
Hmm.
then it wasn't until, that first time that I got up for an audition for Peter Pan and I went, this is it.
Wow.
Now, you know, that was then a long journey to actually getting to do it,
Hmm.
to do it for anything more than a hobby. I
Right.
started out college with, environmental science.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's been a bit of a journey to get there. But as a child, I mean, I think I'm one of those people that I knew my passion from a very young age.
Yeah.
There was no question about it. There was no question about what I loved.
Hmm. When did you come to the States?
When I was 12.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's been a little while now.
Hmm.
But but it's interesting. I mean, that's one of the reasons I love television so much. I mean, that was my acclamation. That
Hmm.
was really my main way in. We had um, a long time before the actual school period started, and we had all our paperwork and everything set up. And so it was watching a lot of TV,
Yeah.
watching a lot of Growing Pains and things like that.
Yeah, I was gonna ask
Um,
what would you watch on
yeah,
TV?
whatever was on rerun on what was it? I think it was TBS at that time.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it was just all of everything on rerun.
Yeah.
Family Matters, like yeah,
Hmm.
whatever was on there, and I think that's where I learned a lot of my high school mannerisms.
Right.
Um,
Hmm.
what it was to be American in many ways
Hmm.
was from those shows. Yeah.
Yeah. When did you move to Los Angeles?
Ooh, LA. Yeah, see, you're taking me way back. Gosh, I think it's now, yeah, it's 2006.
Wow.
Yeah,
So,
December of 2006.
yeah. So when you moved to LA, were you thinking like, oh, I'm moving here to become an actor, let me get
Mm.
acclimated with the city, or did you just need like a new beginning? Like, was moving to Los Angeles your first step in trying to pursue acting?
Actually, I did grad school in theater.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I went from there, it was a 2-year program.
Hmm.
And I went from there to Chicago and started doing theater.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I was in Chicago for about 2 years, seems to be a theme.
Hmm.
But for about two years, and
Hmm.
I got to be a part of some really great shows at places like Victory Gardens and um, Steppenwolf, all of these great institutions. But then I really had always had a love for film
Hmm.
and television, and LA is the place to go for that. So I did that actor's mecca of just throwing everything in the car. Whatever you couldn't get in the car was,
Yeah.
sold on Craigslist.
Hmm.
And yeah, we did that trip, just drove from Chicago to LA. And always the intention was to act.
Hmm.
Now, along the way, there was a lot of other things I was doing to survive.
Of course, of course.
But yeah, the intention always was to
Hmm.
act.
Yeah, so I had no idea that you came from theater. I always think like the best actors come from theater, so I think
Oh,
that's
you're
really
just
cool.
saying that.
No, no, I actually think that's true. Do you ever see yourself like going back to theater?
Oh, absolutely.
Hmm.
It's my first love.
Yeah.
It taught me everything.
Hmm.
And it's yeah, in a heartbeat, whenever the right project and the timing also
Right.
then works out.
Yeah.
But oh my goodness, I love theater.
Hmm.
Yeah, I would do it
Me
anytime.
too. Yeah. I'm a huge theater fan.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about American Gods because this show is huge, like any actor who would get a show like that, like you'd be like, oh my gosh, like freaking out. How was that presented to you? And then what was like the audition process like to getting
Oh
that
wow.
job?
I always feel bad telling this story, especially when I hear Ricky say it took like 5 billion auditions. But you know what? Here's the thing. In hindsight, it was, 500 auditions, but just not all for the same show.
Right, right. Hmm.
I mean, because I'd been in LA for how long by that point? Been out for everything, done
Hmm.
every student film, every, and I also love hearing about those moments where people feel like they missed something that they really wanted. And there was an audition. I'm trying to remember the name of the show right now, but I
Hmm.
really wanted it. Really,
Yeah.
really wanted it. And I got really great response, but I didn't get it. There was some scheduling stuff that ended up happening. But
Hmm.
the casting directors remembered me from that. And that is what put me on the short list for American Gods.
Oh, wow.
And so then I got to go in and audition for this thing. And yeah, there was just two auditions.
Hmm.
Um, and it was pretty immediate. Like before I knew it, I was off on a plane, going off to shoot. Now this is after the how many years, like the iceberg effect, right?
Right. Hmm.
How many years of going out for things, and
Yeah.
getting the no's, getting the rejections,
Hmm.
um, and then this one, it just seemed to happen in a really short amount of time.
Hmm. I feel like when it's meant for you, it just kind of clicks and everything works out the way that it's supposed to. And now you're playing the goddess of love on screens everywhere. What is your favorite part about the show and your character?
I mean, there's so much I've gotten to learn. So much. Bilquis has taught me so many things. And, it's also been interesting because my mother has been sharing a lot of folklore as well.
Hmm.
And there, I'm really excited to discuss with people going into the third season once people have watched it. But there's a lot of stuff going into folklore that I got to explore even more, things that I'd kind of heard of. Um, it's also an incredible
Interesting.
family. And,
Hmm.
any given day with people like Omid Abtahi, Demore Barnes, you see me post 5 billion times how much I love those those people and on and on. But I've really gotten to grow as an actor. And the fact that I was also able to shadow last year, or last season, I should say, uh, the directors, that was huge. That then pushed me into another level of the storytelling journey.
Right.
So there's a lot of favorites. How long do you have?
I've got all day.
Okay, okay.
Um, Also, I've heard that you're kind of like a huge sci-fi fan, really into sci-fi. So doing a show like this was also probably another, type of fate, destiny thing because it does deal with like Greek mythology and everything like that. So how long have you been into that kind of stuff?
Oh my goodness, that's since childhood. And I think that goes all the way back from hearing those stories in Nigeria,
Hmm.
from folklore. That then got me into Greek mythology, Norse mythology, all of that got
Hmm.
me into science fiction in a minute.
Yeah.
And these, I was reading Asimov, I was reading, Bradbury, I was reading Stephen King, all of this stuff. Um, uh, and actually, it wasn't until I came to the States that then I got into Octavia Butler and like all of that work, where I'm going, why did no one tell me about this?
Right.
But I've loved these worlds as far back as I can remember. And there's an element of them because, when I read Stephen King, I usually will pause reading that novel when I go back to Nigeria, because there's such an element of, it's so palpable in the air, the idea of magic and fantasy and mystery. Yeah. And so that's why I say, okay, Stephen King, love you, but we're going to take a pause because it's a little too real to me right now. But I think that's what naturally drew me to all of that. And it's been with me since then.
What's your favorite Stephen King novel or film?
Ooh, okay. Well, to me is what his grand opus, The Dark Tower.
Okay.
The whole, how many of it is it? 8 of them now? Every single one. And I believe the first one was written maybe before I was born. And I remember then reading the last one and thinking it was such a journey of following all these characters. But I really think if you haven't had the chance, first of all, you're going to need a block of time.
Yeah.
It's not something that you're just gonna, finish in a day or two.
Right. Stephen King is not for the weak.
Yeah. And it's a whole set of books, and it's a pretty large world.
Yeah.
So that's why I was very curious about how they were going to bring that to the screen, because it's not something that's going to be done in 1-2 hours. But it's my absolute favorite.
Yeah. What about the any of his films, any of the films that have been made?
Oh yeah. I always find it interesting with Stephen King books into films, because one of the things that I personally feel he does so great in his writing is he gets you to substitute your own worst fears, your own, he gets you to do that substitution. And there's almost sometimes nothing more terrifying than what you create.
Right. For sure.
But that said, there's some incredible directors that somehow managed to get in there. Of course, The Shining is always a favorite.
Yeah.
I always joke when we went to House on the Rock to film season 2 of American Gods, the place we're staying, there was so much of, over the hotel to it. The carpets and everything it was pretty great. But yeah, that's always a favorite at the top of the list.
Yeah.
How about you?
I haven't seen everything, but I'm a big Misery fan.
Ooh, well,
I love.
I
love that one. That one's pretty scary. Just, if you really think about it, like, this is horrifying.
On the performances,
so good.
Yeah. I mean, she took it to a whole other level, but.
And there's something funny about it too. Like when you watch certain scenes in Misery, some of it is like kind of funny. So I love that one. Anytime it's on, I could probably watch it. I know you can't spoil anything or give anything away, but can you say anything maybe about where you see the future of your character in American Gods?
Ooh, what can I say? Okay. One thing I can say, this is where I start. It all. I'm going, okay, where is there an NDA spot here? So, I mean, a lot of the first season, I spoke a lot about Bilquis working to survive. Second season, she's working towards, thriving. And I'd say third season is where she's really finding her drive.
Okay.
Everything, it's going to be a whole journey that we'll all get to go through together when everything's cut together, and we'll see, in the edit.
Yeah.
But there was so much more agency to play with. And I think you will I think people will be in for the ride. I think you're going to get a whole lot more Bilquis.
Okay, yes. I feel like that's what the people want. You know, that I'll be like watching clips on YouTube or something, and it'll
Yeah.
just be in the comments like, we need more, we need more. So I feel like that's what the people are waiting for. And I'm sure you can't even talk about this, but I feel like there's this huge campaign for you to be Storm in the MCU. Anything
Yeah, I
brewing?
mean, everyone knows that it's a dream. It's
Hmm.
that was one of the things that I would watch Saturday morning cartoons,
Yeah.
the X-Men, Storm, and then recently having more time to dive in with, Marvel Unlimited, where you can read all the comics online.
No, I didn't know that.
They
That's
have
very
like
cool.
lists for different characters, and so being able to dive back into that, and
Hmm.
going back into a lot of Storm origin story, and also, I mean, I love the idea that they play with the claustrophobia and being a Black woman. There's so
Right.
much juicy stuff.
Hmm.
Um, Sorry, but
No,
that's
no,
just
yeah, I
me.
agree.
Yeah, just
There's a
geeking
level
out.
of Storm that we haven't seen yet,
Yeah.
and I just hope that they pick a person that can do that story justice for sure.
Well, it's just there's so, I mean, we've had incredible people along the
Hmm.
way. We've been so lucky.
Yeah.
Um, uh, I do have to say, I don't feel that Storm, the character, has been given enough of a stage. Um,
Yes.
this is a woman that has been worshipped as a goddess. This
Hmm.
is a woman that's, an Omega level mutant. This is uh, this is this incredible largesse of human being, or no, mutant.
Yeah.
But just largesse of that, and I can understand her then being so concerned with claustrophobia, because it feels like even this is happening in how she's portrayed, but she's been compacted into a space that
Hmm.
does not take into account all that she is.
Right.
And so I'm really excited to see when we get to really dive into the depths
Hmm.
of the character. And it's no secret, I would love to be a part of making that happen.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed for you. We'll put a petition together. But I do know that you're actually, I heard that you actually funded your own project, your short film in Hollywoodland, which is kind of inspired about Alice in Wonderland, which I think is so cool. Is that out yet for people to
Yeah.
see?
Oh, yes. So it was crowdfunded. It was
That's
such an
awesome.
incredible. There was so much support behind it. Still
Hmm.
is. I'm seeing all the love.
That's
And uh, this is a project that I wrote and produced along with Karen David, who produced and was also in it, and Jessica Sharif, who directed
hmm
and also produced.
yes.
And it was just, it was an incredible journey to go along with these creatives,
Hmm.
3 women producers,
Hmm.
and talking a lot about the intersections and things that we deal with. And so we did get to premiere at Bentonville Film Festival. Excuse
Congratulations.
me. Thank you, thank you. And then immediately after, we were at the American Black Film Festival.
Lovely. Yes.
And we actually, I think we can announce, I think we're allowed to say, but we'll be at the Catalina Film Festival.
Woo! Congratulations.
Thank you, officially.
Yes.
So we have more coming in, and
Hmm.
because we're having these wonderful virtual
Right.
festivals, there are many ways for people to see it. The American Black Film Festival, the community pass was free, and so
Hmm.
everyone that got one of those was able to see it. And so once we're done with the festival circuit, then we'll be able to release it
Okay.
in other spaces.
Okay. So if you guys can't get into the festival, just keep your eyes peeled. You'll be able to see the film very, very soon. That's
Yes,
so awesome
very
though.
soon.
Congratulations. I love a
Thank you.
girl power group taking over
It's
Hollywood.
Yeah, it
one
was
step
pretty
at a
amazing.
time.
And our cinematographer was also a woman.
Hmm.
We had a large percentage of our crew were women, and then we had a lot more people that had been historically oppressed than not. So it was an interesting environment, and we really were trying to reach a hand out to everyone and to create the kind of world that we hope to see. And so this was our first step into trying to do that.
I love that. Absolutely. Congratulations. And
Thank
that's
you.
so amazing. Can't wait. I'm gonna try to go to go to one of these film festivals virtually so I can check it out.
I mean, let me know. So.
I will. I will. I love the concept, so I'm excited to see what it's about. So before I let you go, I just want to play a quick rapid fire. You don't have to answer super quick or anything, but I just want to ask you a couple of questions, couple of fun
Yeah.
questions,
I'm
just for the
laughing
people.
already because people already know about me in rapid fire. You ask me my name in a rapid fire quiz, and I will take 5 minutes to try and figure it out. So yeah, let's do it.
That's okay. That's okay. It'll be totally fine.
Okay.
What is the biggest misconception about you?
Ooh, that I am not a total nerd. I think everyone that meets me within 5 to 10 minutes, I mean, we're going to be talking Star Trek, which, by the way, happy Star Trek Day. Or we're going to be talking about, something to do with science fiction or fantasy.
Mhm.
So whenever someone doesn't assume I'm a geek, I always say that's the biggest misconception ever.
Okay. What's your favorite color?
Red.
Red.
Ooh, are you wearing red?
I am actually. I have on a red shirt,
My
red lips.
favorite. All
I'm a
right.
red fan.
Love it. Love it. Oh,
Who
yeah,
is
I'm saying that.
somebody who is somebody that you would love to work with?
Meryl Streep, Viola Davis, Lupita Nyong'o. I'm sorry, I'm doing a whole list
No,
now.
I agree with every one of those
Idris
statements.
Elba. Okay. There's a long list. A long list.
Yeah. What is the last TV show that you binged?
Oh, well, I waited for a couple of episodes before, so I think it's 4 now, before Lovecraft Country.
Yes, I
And
haven't
so
watched it yet because I'm trying to so I can just go through it versus watching it week by week. But
I was trying to wait, but I
yeah.
couldn't. I couldn't. It was killing me. And so
Mhm.
now I'm caught up and waiting on the next one.
Mhm. I love it. I love it. And my last question for all of the actors out there, what is a piece of advice that you could give them?
Piece of advice. I mean, everyone's going on their own journey.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one thing that I've learned over all these years. But everyone is going on their own journey. And we touched a little bit about the iceberg effect of it all.
Mm-hmm.
The many years, the many auditions, the many bits of work that most people don't see. But it is all adding up to something.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just always want every actor to know that it is adding up to something. You're getting there. It's just at the moment you might not be able to see it, but you're getting there. So trust in that and trust in yourself.
I love that. And I thought of one last question. I know that I said
Sure.
that was the last one. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, please go ahead.
If you could recommend one sci-fi TV show or movie for a non-sci-fi fan, what would it be?
Ooh, I mean, okay, everyone knows my first love was Star Trek Next Generation.
Star
Was
Trek.
my into the Star Trek world.
Okay.
But I mean, there's only one because there's so many. Okay, so that's definitely a start.
Okay.
But I would say also Battlestar Galactica.
Okay.
With Edward James Olmos and that whole crew, Katie Sackhoff, all of them. I would say to me, it felt like the precursor of genre TV as we know it.
Okay.
The kind of genre TV that gets Emmys and gets noticed for awards. I think if Battlestar Galactica existed now, it would be getting all those awards. But the ones that have all have that to thank for it. It is just some of the best scripted drama. Yes, it happens to be in space, but the interpersonal relationships, the characters, it's incredible storytelling.
Okay. I'm going to write that one down so I can check it out.
Do it. And I want to hear your, I always love hearing people's feedback after they finally give in and watch it. I mean, I've told so many non-sci-fi geeks to check it out. And when they finally do, and they get to the, they have a lot to say.
Okay, I'll definitely message you and let you know for sure. But thank you so much for chatting with me today.
This was great. Of course. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And tell everyone where they can find you at.
You can find me on Instagram at Yetide. That's Yetide. And then you can find me on Twitter at Yetide Badaki.
All right. And if you guys haven't already, make sure you check out American Gods. Season 3, do we have any dates or anything yet, or just coming soon?
Nothing I can share.
Okay.
But
coming soon.
More information is coming up very soon. I think I'm allowed to say that. We will hear more information about it very, very soon.
We all can't wait. So make sure you guys stay tuned. And if you haven't caught up, just catch up. You have nothing better to do. We are in quarantine. Thank you so much for chatting with me.
Thank you. Have a great one.
Thank you, you too. Bye.
Where is the buzz? You said was mine.
Where is the buzz?